Welcome back, painting friends. Today we're going to add to our Critters with Cocoa series with a cute little koala. Colors you're going to need are pink, white, gray, purple, black, teal, and brown. And the pink and white are my background colors, so you can always change your background colors to whatever color you want. I always have my favorite 4 brushes. I got my 1-inch flat brush, my 10-6, and 1 round brush. And I always have a cup of water and a rag for keeping my brushes clean. And remember, if you're liking what you're seeing here today, like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Painting with a Purpose, so you are kept up to date on all of the tutorials. And check us out on Facebook because we have a lot of fun with our little Facebook community. All right, white paint and pink paint on my brush, and I'm just going to make tall, top to bottom brush strokes across my entire background to fill it in. So don't worry about making it all one nice solid color. Let it kind of be streaky, but fill it in. You take your brush, wipe it off, wash it off, set it aside. We're going to let our background dry before we add in that cute little koala. With a dry background, I'm now going to go in with some gray paint on my number 6 round brush and lay out where this cute little koala is going to go. So his head is, it's square-ish, okay, but it gets a little wider down at the base. All right, so square-ish head. He's got some big, huge ears, and these ears we're actually going to kind of make like bumps around him. Kind of look like wings, don't they? And then his body's going to be right down here, and what we're going to do is we're just going to take a line from right where his head is, and we're just going to make kind of a L shape right here. Copycat that on the other side. These are going to be his arms holding his cocoa. And then maybe we'll just put like a little crease where his elbow is. All right. Now back up here on the head, we're going to make a half circle right here on the inside of each ear. And then down here at the bottom of his head, I'm going to make a big circle. And on his chest right here, I'm just going to make a big loop right here. It's a little parentheses right there. And then we're just going to make his body kind of come down at an angle. So essentially, we're going to paint in all of this gray. All of these areas are going to be gray, including his arms. But this will be white, this will be white, and this will make pink. So I'm going to jump into speed motion and get all of these areas painted in. I did go ahead and let my background dry a little bit, but now it is time to move on to some of these fun details on this cute little guy. So I'm going to take my number 6 round brush, and I'm going to take white and gray paint. We're going to start at the top, and we're just going to lighten up the tops of some of these areas. So with white and light gray, and then I'll move into a little bit of gray just to kind of blend it down. I'm going to add some of this lighter color on the edges of his body as well as like his head. Well, I guess that'd be part of his body too, but just adding a little bit of highlight towards the top of all of his areas. With all of those little highlighted areas finished, I'm going to go ahead and take this brush, take a little bit of white paint, and just make a couple of fun little hair lines inside of his ears. So number 6 round brush, a little bit of white paint, just kind of pulling some of those colors out. All right, let's move on to his face features. So I'm going to take my finger and dip it into black paint, and I'm going to make 2 nice big oval eyes. I like to use my finger when I make these because I do think I get a neater oval. And with that finger still a little bit dirty, I'm going to grab both gray, black, and white paint on my finger, and I'm going to make his nose. And it's going to be similar shape to his eyes, except it's going to be a little bit more triangular, so a little bit more of that wider base. I'm going to go back to my number 6 round brush with some black paint, and I'm going to put cute little eyebrows just above his eye. I'm going to set my brush down kind of flat to make it a little bit wider there, and then just pull it up as I pull away from that spot, and it'll get a little bit more narrow. All right, down here underneath his mouth, I'm just going to make 2 little curved lines. And then I'm going to take a little bit of white paint and pink paint on my finger. And I'm going to dab that onto my paint palette to kind of mix it a little bit. What I'm going to do is right here by his cheeks, I'm just going to add a little bit of pink, mixing in with that gray. He's a happy little koala. All right, let's move on down towards his body and his cup. All right, I'm going to take my number 6 round brush. We're going to go ahead and lay out this cup that he's holding. So right here in the middle, I'm going to make a big, huge oval. It's going to be the inside of the cup. And then my cup is going to just kind of come down and have the base. I can go ahead and paint the whole front of my cup in. And I'm going to put a little handle right over here on this side. It's just going to be a half of a heart shape. I'll take a little bit of white paint to just add some highlights to this area. Maybe the top of the cup, the top of the rim, maybe just a little bit over here just to kind of give it some fun color. There we go. I can go ahead and paint the center of that in with my hot cocoa color. Then let's move on to our snowflakes in our background while this dries a little bit. You can make your snowflakes any way you want. You can just use the back of your brush and just kind of drop some dots in. Or if you want to have a little bit more fun with it, you could take one of your skinny brushes. And I like to start snowflakes off by having like an X or a T, and then I make the smaller lines on the inside. Now from there, you can always add like little triangles that kind of point in on every other one. You can add some polka dots, you can add some circles. There's really no wrong way to make these fun snowflakes. So have fun if you're going to add those bigger snowflakes. I like to add a couple of those. Even sometimes I just like to add where I just have like a starburst one. Just easy peasy. So add your snowflakes on there, and then we will finish up this cute little koala. same brush, I'm going to grab some of that purple color. This is going to be my shadow. Okay, so right down here, I'm going to add just a little bit of purple on his body, just below his arm. And then I'm going to go in with that gray and kind of brush it in. Purple's a great color to use for any kind of shadows. Don't have to be too dark with it either. And then while I got that purple in my brush, I'm going to go ahead and make my heart on his cup, this purple color. Add a little bit of white to it just to highlight it a little bit. All right, let's go back and look at our little koala's face. So I'm going to take a little bit of brown paint and I'm going to make just a small curved line in the bottom of his eye with that brown paint. I'm going to take my finger, a little bit of white paint. I'm going to make a white spot kind of up towards the top of his eye. I use the back of my brush to add a smaller spot down towards that brown area. And then with the clean number 6 round brush, I'm going to take a little bit of that white paint and make a highlight on the top of his nose. And kind of coming down one side, maybe even put a couple of dots in there. And add a little bit of white up at the top of his eyebrows. And then I'm right here on these edges, I'm just going to go in and kind of take that white paint and make it really look like there's some movement in his ear. So I'm just kind of going around these edges with that white paint. Maybe along the side of his face. I like highlights a lot when I make my critters with Coco. And his arms too. Oh, I forgot, we never even made his hands, did we? Okay, better go back in and finish those hands up. So with that gray paint, I'm going to just kind of connect the hands to the arms. And his little koala hands are just going to have kind of like 3 little bumps. Take a little bit of black paint to kind of outline where his hand is, and where these little fingers are. And same thing on the other side. I think I'm going to have the other side, I think I will have his hand kind of coming up through the cup. Again, with that little bit of black paint to kind of outline it. All right, last thing I'm going to do before I start to add in my final details, I'm going to take a little bit of watered down black paint. I like to water my black paint down when I do an outline. And I'm going to do a ghost outline. And that means that I'm not going to outline the whole thing, but I'm going to take that watered down black paint and add some lines around my koala to outline him a little bit, maybe not all the way though. If you want to add any marshmallows to your cocoa, little finger, and you can put some marshmallow spots right in there. And if you want to have any kind of like a steam or a smoke coming up, since his chest is white, I would take a little bit of that light blue paint we did with the cup and mix it with some white paint, water it down really good, and then you can just go right in here and kind of make some swirls coming up out of his cocoa. Well, I think we have it. When you're finished, make sure you grab a color that's going to show up on your canvas and sign your name. Remember that I'm never going to get to see what you're painting at home unless you take a picture of it and post it to my Facebook page, Painting with a Purpose. Make sure that you like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Painting with a Purpose, so you're kept up to date on all of my tutorials. And remember, as always, stay kind, stay creative, and stay safe. Have a great day, friends. Bye now.